Hi, this is Dwight. As you go through my videos, you're going to notice that occasionally I have to make an update to some because there's been momentous changes to that country's economy. And being that we're talking first about the United States, I figured I should start there this time. The most momentous economic event in the last couple of decades has been the election of Donald John Trump as President of the United States. A famous economist actually said on the night of the election that the economy might never recover. Of course, he's now trying to pretend that he never said that, but that's the problem you make when you forecast. So, what is really happening here? Well, first of all, the thing that people are paying attention to most of all is the share market. The share market just topped 26,000, or it's the Dow did, and that's the highest it's ever been. The Dow isn't quite the real economy. The real economy is up as well. We've got 3% growth rates in GDP that we haven't seen for a decade. We've got manufacturing jobs, the best report in 15 years, according to the index there. What else is happening? Oh, optimism. A big thing that what can happen even in a short period of time in an economy is that the animal spirits, as Keynes referred to them, the optimism inherent, in the change in administrations, has unleashed a torrent of people saying, this might work out really well, so I can invest there. And then, of course, the tax bill. The tax bill is going to be momentous. 85% of Americans are going to get a tax break. And that's money that they can spend on other things rather than giving it to the government to spend for them. And then, of course, even bigger than this is the corporate tax rate. One of the things I want you to look at is what's called the pass-through provisions, which affects SMEs. Most SMEs in the U.S. are taxed on their personal income tax rate. And as you might guess, that becomes a problem, when you've got high rates like 39, 40%. And then add the state taxes on top of that. So what these pass-through provisions allow is for the owner of the SME to take that money, bring it through the business, pay the corporate tax rate, and then take it out on the other side. In my opinion, they were brilliantly written by whoever did it. They deserve a pat on the back for this. But what that's going to do is supercharge the economy. What you're going to see now for at least the next few years is the U.S. economy on steroids because of this tax act. And that's something we need to pay attention to because every other venue that's non-competitive is going to have a problem as that money is sucked into the U.S. and out of other countries. What else is happening there? Oh, regulation. Regulations are down. The Federal Register, which is the book of new federal regulations every year. Normally, I've seen them as this big. Back when I used to work for the federal government decades ago. It's this big this year. It is 50% the size that it was in 2016. And that's very momentous because, as we know, if you can strangle a good economy through too much green and red tape. So there's a lot of reason for optimism here if you're an American. If you're not an American, there's something that you need to consider is what impact is this going to have on your economy as that money gets sucked in from other places for investment purposes. And then, of course, there's the profits that American corporations are taking back home through what's called repatriation. Because of generous tax laws in other countries, there's trillions of dollars that American companies have stored offshore. You might have seen recently that Apple just announced they're bringing back, some $300 billion in money that they had outside the country. That will all come back to the U.S. now. It'll be taxed on a one-time basis and then reinvested. So those things are generally positive. So what's the biggest negative? Well, what does the market hate worse than anything else? The market hates uncertainty. And there's a lot of uncertainty out there right now. The administration seems chaotic at times, and we really don't know, where they seem to be going from point to point, and the American government just shut down. So those are things that are going to worry the market. On the other hand, those decision makers in the market right now seem to be going and saying, I trust this current administration to make pro-business decisions as a default position. And that should serve us well. In the long term, who knows? As Keynes said, in the long run, we're all dead, and we will see how it plays out. Well, thanks for listening. Have a good day. Bye-bye.